Okay, so here we are with MXGP Pro. It is finally here, and I have a review copy of the game. I was given this a few days ago for the Xbox One, and I've been playing it, but not enough to really give a review yet. This is just kind of a first impressions. I've only played a little bit, not too much, and enough to kind of semi-upgrade this 450 here. It's like 70% upgraded. And buy the Fox gear. That's it. These are the stock boots and the stock helmet and goggles that you get when you start the game. So yeah, I thought the easiest way would just be to start from the main menu and go from there. But when you first turn on the game, it prompts you to create your character, your team name, your jersey number, or your number, and you can change the font size of both your name and your number on your jersey and all that stuff. And then basically, you're going to be here at this menu. Now, one thing that is kind of cool, if you hit B or whatever button it is on the PlayStation, you're right into the compound, just like that. Real cool. Just a real quick go to the compound if you want to train or whatever. Now, we're not going to mess around in the compound too much here, but really not at all because that's not the plan for today. So we're going to go back, and it's this simple just to get back to the main menu. Just thought that was kind of a cool thing that we would kind of show off first, but we're going to start here in single player, and then you have the Time Attack Career Championship. We're going to do a Grand Prix, and we're going to start a new one. I think I quit. We were doing Portugal, I think, and I stopped. I never finished midway through. I don't remember why. Now, here, it's just like Supercross. Here's where you would change your gear or your bike or whatever, but I don't need to, so we're going to stick with that. We're going to go to track selection, and now here, I don't really know. There's actually quite a few tracks that I don't really follow the MXGP series in real life too closely, so I don't know a lot of these tracks. I know a lot of them have been on pretty much every MXGP game. I think Falcon Sword, I think that one has been. Latvia, I don't know. There's a few. Lomel, maybe. There's a few that have been, and I think this is Jacksonville, right? Florida? I'm not sure. I think that's this one, which I'm not familiar with that track really whatsoever, so yeah, there's the tracks. You can see them. I don't know where we're going to go today. Man, where are we going to go? Let's go to a track that we're not going to get destroyed on. I'm sure someone wants us to go somewhere specific, but I'm trying to think of one that I know. Let's just, where is it? Where is it? I can't find it. Where's the Portugal track? Right here. Let's just go here, and then I want to show you the race options as well. Just like you would assume. You can have the weather conditions. I'm just going to do clear. Single race. Medium length. Now, I'm not very good against the AI. I don't think the AI is more difficult. I think just playing the game with the pro physics makes the AI a little more difficult. So I'm going to be a baby and put it on hard because I don't even think we can get a win on hard. Pro physics, you can have standard, semi-pro, and pro. We're going to have pro. Joint brakes off. Rider weight is manual. I'm going to leave it on semi-automatic because I'm doing a live commentary. And this game is hard enough for me at this point still with minimum time in it that if I'm not like try-hard focus mode, it's difficult. It's actually quite difficult. So semi-automatic, rewind is off, and we get a plus 475% credit bonus. So let's jump into this. And I'm probably going to cut this. Yeah, we're going to shorten this load screen up a little bit because It feels brutal. I don't think it's as long as it feels, but yeah, let's shorten this up and get to the race. Okay, so here is the start menu before the actual race. It kind of reminds me of like MXGP1 a little bit, just kind of how the mechanics messing around the bike and the scenario we're sitting in. But the bike setup, so we have the suspension. It kind of got like a facelift of what it has in the past, but it's essentially exactly the same. I think I ran something really similar to this in the past MXGP game, Supercross the game. It's not what I'm running now exactly because this game feels noticeably different. So I'm running a little bit of a different suspension setup, but you can mess around with that. Your gear ratio is way more in depth. Before you could just go low, medium, or high for options. Now you can actually choose how many teeth your front and rear sprocket have. You can adjust. Then you can adjust first, second, third, fourth, and fifth gear. It's really cool actually, and I'm still kind of messing around trying to figure it out, but it does feel like it does make a difference. So you have your, like for example, you have a flat track or you have a track with a lot of elevation change. It is going to make a difference what kind of gear ratio you have, or weather conditions obviously are going to make somewhat of a difference with the dry or wet tracks. So still messing around with that, as well as 2-stroke to 4-stroke. I didn't know if it would make much of a difference because it's a video game, so I don't know how much detail they put into it, I guess, but it does seem to make quite a bit of difference. I have the CR250, and that'll be in the next video probably, and the gear setup for that is totally different than it is for the 450, which is cool. I'm glad they did that. They put that attention to detail in it. And then for brake response, you have the aggressive or the modular, which I don't know. I've used both, and you have the same options for the accelerator mapping, the modular or the aggressive. And I've used both settings, and I noticed a slight difference, but not a huge difference. Now, maybe after I played the game a lot, I might retract that statement and say that there's a bigger difference. But as of right now, I don't notice too much, but it's an option. And for your wheelbase, you have your intermediate and your long. So I've never used the long wheelbase, so I can't tell you how much of a difference it makes in the game, but it is an option. And then you have your presets here, and have a bunch that I'm testing and trying out. I think I'm going to grab this one. I'm not even going to show you because it'll just mess you up, man. It's not a good setup. It's not a good starting point. If I was you, I would just test it. Go to the compound. That's what they want you to do. Go to the compound and test setups. If I find something I'm really happy with, I'll show you. But as of right now, with minimal time in the game, I'm just not totally confident in the setups that I have. Okay, so here we are. We are going to try our hand at a medium length race with the hard difficulty. Now, I did do a race on realistic not terribly long ago, and I got so frustrated with it, I just quit. It was too much. I got so angry with the AI, and what else was I gonna say? And it was just tough. It's lag swag. It was really tough. I don't think the AI is actually more difficult than they ever have been. I just think the game itself is more difficult for the player to go fast, making the AI seem harder. But in reality, I think the AI is pretty much exactly like it always has been. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, and I'm sure after a very short period of time when people figure the game out, it's going to be super easy to destroy the AI on the realistic difficulty. But at least starting out, it's kind of a learning curve. It's not super easy. It takes some time, and yeah, you just kind of have to be finesse a little bit. You can't you push too hard, you're gonna crash. You're definitely gonna crash. There's that lag swag again, man. I'm glad you're seeing that, because that's something new that they clearly added into the game, and it's like this cool aesthetic thing. Now here I always mess up. I always jump off the track or go into the billboard there, not the billboard, the signs or whatever. Always messing up that. Oh yeah, we got the inside. Get out of here. Into first place, baby. I wanted a top 5. I want a top 5. But a win would be even better. Never won on anything above medium yet, because I'm so noob that I can't see. Look, he's like, I gotta get to that other line. I can't take the inside. I refuse to take the inside. Look at that. Now look what happened to me. Look at this. Oh my gosh, that guy's going down. I was not gonna stop. That was revenge, my friend. Revenge. So you can still do some cheesy stuff like that, where you just like people land on each other's heads and nothing really happens. But the over jumping, you do crash. If you under jump in case like a big jump, a little jump, it doesn't seem to matter as much, but the big jumps, you do crash. If you over jump, it's kind of a weird thing. It's like it has a very specific spot where it's doing that to you, because I've over jumped some really big jumps, just a little bit, but total over jump, and nothing really happened. And then I've done like the same exact over jump and it crashed. I must have been just like a half of an inch farther. So the overjumping system is a little on the odd side, as well as the underjumping system. Like you can underjump in case, like here, check this out. So we're gonna case this, kinda case that, but not really a big deal. I mean, it wasn't a hard case. Maybe we'll case this one too. Case, no, not really case, a little bit. And it doesn't seem to matter as much on the smaller jumps. It's the big ones that's a problem. Like if I launch this, I'm letting off quite a bit. If I were to launch that, we'd be going down. So casing and just throttle control in general in the game is a big deal, because the corners, for example, the corners. Let's see, how do I want to say this? If you full throttle, just hammer it out of the corner, there's a good chance. Now maybe people will figure out a way to not do it, but at least as of right now, there's a good chance you're gonna crash. You're gonna spin out. You're just gonna go down. You're going to do something that you don't want to do, most likely. You kind of have to ease on the throttle. You have to be careful especially when and where you want to get back on it. And so I really do appreciate that. You have to, the big sweepers are the big ones. So some of these tracks have really big sweeping open corners, and you really have to be careful how you apply the throttle so you're not going down. We are having an epic battle here. Ooh, look at this battle. So throttle control is a big thing, and it's really easy to spin out in corners. I mean, it looks like I'm tippy-toeing around these, and if it does, it's because I am. I'm really nervous that I'm going to go down, and I don't want to go down in a corner. Really easy to go down in corners. What else? Braking. The braking, I'm a little, I mean, I feel like it's more sensitive than it has been, but that's not something that I would notice without thinking about it. If I wasn't thinking about, if I wasn't thinking about the braking, I don't think I would notice the braking difference too much. I mean, on Pro Physics, I already have the brakes separated anyways, and it's always been like that for me. Like with Supercross and MXGP 2 and 3 and whatever, MXGP 1. So I guess I don't notice the braking too much. The one that really disappoints me is the clutch. From what I've seen so far, now it does do a little bit, but I don't really feel like the clutch really does much. It's not serving its purpose. It's not doing what it needs to do. It doesn't feel like it's... I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's... Oh, please don't take... Oh, come on. Don't put me down. Oh. I'm taking it easy, man. I'd rather let him by than go down. It's intense. Super intense. But clutch. What was I saying? Clutch. Yeah. Even on like the two-stroke, specifically the two-stroke. So I was using the CR250, and it just didn't really do anything. I mean, it kind of... I don't know. Disappointed with the clutch. Now, maybe later on... Oh, we almost went down. Maybe later on I'll change my opinion on it, but as of right now, I don't really feel like the clutch is a quote, working clutch. It doesn't feel like it's doing a lot. Like, with the two-stroke, I didn't feel like I could keep my RPMs up a lot with it, you know, if I was feathering it quite a bit or whatever. It just didn't feel like it was reacting the way it would realistically. And I know it's a video game, so I'm not expecting perfection, but I do know that was one thing that they were talking about, that a clutch that actually matters. And it feels like it matters to some degree. Okay, I'm not going to say it's been worse in past games, but it's definitely not as big of a change as I thought it would be. What else here? What else? We will talk about the whips eventually here. Now, one thing I want to get out of the way, if I haven't said it already, is graphically amazing. On the Xbox One, a regular Xbox One. Well, what Xbox One is. And the game looks fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Amazing. I'm hoping to get it on PC here pretty soon, and I think it's going to look insane there. Oh, no, I got an itch on my nose again. Someone said the itch on the nose is the tear-off. Oh, come on. Is the tear-off of motocross games. I agree with you, because you have to do it like over a jump. But the problem is I'm so tense right now because the game it's intense. This is intense because I'm not good at it. And I'm like trying really hard to catch this guy. Now look how much time I lost at him. Look, he's gone. He's just gone. Oh, they're pretty close to me still too. What was I saying? I'm losing my train of thought here before I want to get it all in this video here. First impressions. Graphically, yes, it looks amazing. Ruts, did we talk about Ruts? I don't know if we did. Well, if we didn't, I'm a little bit disappointed. I thought that it was going to be better than it is. I thought that they were going to be deeper than they are. I thought the track was going to go away from you more than it is instead of just having dark spots. I feel like it's getting rougher each... Oh, yes, it's definitely getting rougher each lap. No! No! Tim, come back. I need second place. Yeah, I feel like it definitely gets rougher. This is the longest I've ever been on the track. I never do races this long. I feel like it's getting rougher, but it's not getting ruddier. It's just getting rougher, and so it's easier to go down. You have to be a little more careful in the corners, so it's almost like it's getting slipperier. Is that a word? Getting more slippery. How about that? Getting more slippery. It kind of feels like that, actually. This is the most that I've ever been in a race, so interesting. I'm sure each track is a little bit different, and here we're just on, it looks like cloudy. Not wet. Oh, man, now we got big company. Oh, my gosh, there's a whole pack of them right here. Physics-wise, people are going to want to know. We might crash. No. We might crash. No. Physics-wise, oh, man, it's just, things are going bad for us right now. We're finishing this. I do not care. We are finishing this. I do not care. I'm still learning. Make all the fun you want, but I'm still learning the game. It's not as easy as it looks. It's not. What was I going to say? Physics. Yeah, physics. So, I feel like the physics have been freed up just of the bike and rider. So I'll kind of show you what I mean here. We got to find a jump here. I'm going really slow because it's getting harder. It's definitely getting more slick, and it's easy. I mean, I think it's taking all these little itty bitty lines that don't really look like ruts and causing, okay, so right here. So just moving him in the air like that, he is a lot more free, and I can really drop the front end, you know, by and leaning forward a little bit. You can really move the front end around. I mean, I didn't show it very good, but there is definitely a lot more control of the bike and rider. Like, just, I mean, I'm trying to show you, just moving him, not talking about whips. Just, that's the same corner. He took me out. Come on, I'm getting so angry. I'm gonna rage, but I'm not gonna, because I want to finish the video before I get super angry. So I'm gonna save my super angry for later. Yeah, the track is getting slick. It is just getting slick. It's not getting rougher. So I'm a little bit disappointed. That kind of feels like a little bit of a cheap way to make that work. Instead of putting more ruts and getting rougher, they just kind of added like this slippery feature to it somehow. I don't know. It just feels kind of weird. But that's just first impressions, so, you know, whatever. But yeah, in-air physics and just control of the bike and rider feel really good. They feel really solid, and it feels different. It's like a fresh feel to their past games. It's like they tweaked on what they had and just improved it. So overall, control of the bike and rider in the air, not whipping, just the in-air control of him is pretty darn good. And the control of him through the corners and just the way he feels on the track is really well done. I think they captured that pretty good. I mean, I don't know what else. I don't really know what I would have done differently. Maybe in the review we'll talk about that. But as far as first impressions, it's really easy to oversteer. Look at that. I oversteer quite a bit over corner. But just, I don't know, the ground physics of being through the corners and everything is, come on, don't take me out. The ground physics are really good. It feels interesting. It's like, I'm trying to explain it. It's hard to explain. It's just a feel thing. When you get the game yourself, if you choose to buy it, I believe it's retailing for $50, standard version. It's, oh man, okay, I'll take that crash. Things are going bad for us. We might not get a top 10, but whatever. I do not care. Look at that. See, he actually kind of leans off the side of the bike a little bit. Is that something? That's something that feels kind of new. I don't remember him really doing that in Supercross. He would move, but I don't remember him like leaning and kind of taking his leg off the foot peg like that. I'm crashing now, but I'm just trying to show you what I'm talking. Double crash, man. Double crash. Wasn't on the throttle. Double crash. Double reset crash. We are 13th place. Well, we were doing awesome, man. We were doing awesome. I think we could have won the race if we were focused and it was a short race. Things kind of went bad, but the track is definitely getting more difficult the longer we're on it. Whoa, look at this. It's way harder to corner. Way harder to corner. Our lap times are for sure slowing down. I mean, I'm losing a little bit of my focus too, but I will say that the track feels harder to ride at this point. The braking, I'm noticing the braking a little bit more now too. I mean, all the opinions I had were from very, very short races. Very short races with not a lot of time or anything like that. And now doing one of these medium length races, well, we are kind of catching them, but it does feel like I'm trying to tiptoe. The braking is not as abrupt. It feels like there's a delay almost when I'm braking now. And I believe I have the aggressive brakes option on, not the modular one. Same with the acceleration. I believe I'm using the aggressive. I believe. And yeah, that's kind of that. Now whips. Okay, we got time to talk about whips now. Free the whip. They are going to have free whips. They said we are going to have free whips. They do not, I repeat, do not have free whips. That is the whip, and then you bring it back. It's like really hard to bring it back. It's really hard. We're going to fall back to last place probably because we're going to do some really stupid stuff here at the end showing you what I'm talking about. The whip is not free. It's the same thing. It's just push the sticks together and pull them out. Now, it doesn't, you have to kind of bring it back, I guess, a little bit more than you ever have. And they kind of tried to change the animation where his leg gets brought up and whatever, but it's not good. It's bad. It's probably the worst whip I've seen in these games. I think they did it better in Supercross. It's the same mechanic, okay? It's not free. I don't know if they're just not sure what we mean by free whip or what. Now, am I saying that this is defining their game? No way. Just because the whip sucks doesn't mean the game's not amazing. Okay, don't get me wrong. The game is so much fun. It's hard. It takes time to learn. everything that we've been talking about up to this point. I'm sure I'm missing some stuff too, but it just, the whip is so not free. It's so weird. I mean, we kind of landed it, and he kind of like hangs his leg off and does this thing, and I mean, they're trying to make the animation itself look better, but it's so weird, and it's slow. It's really, 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 really slow. I personally think this is the worst whip. Okay, let me think. Let me make sure I'm confident in that answer. I personally think this is the worst whip that we've gotten from them, aside from Mud. Okay, yeah, Mud was the worst one, but I think it's awful. I think Supercross got it way more right than this game did. It's just really ugly. It's just an ugly animation. It's just everything about it is really, really ugly. And I mean, unfortunately, I'm not really getting a lot of jumps here to try and demonstrate it for you, but it's just the push button, pull the sticks together, put them, whatever, you know, push them together. It's that same thing. Oh, come on, man. I was just going to throw a huge fat whip here to try and show you, but I can't now. There also is a preload. I've seen people keep telling me there's no preload in Supercross. There is a preload in Supercross the game. It's not MX versus ATV, okay, guys? It's a more subtle preload, but it's there. There is a preload. I really don't want to be in 13th, but looks like we might be getting 13th place. It's not the place I want to be. I'm going to try really hard to make a pass here at the end. So the whips aren't free. They're super, super stiff. And again, in my opinion, I think they're just trash. I think they're the worst whip that we've gotten. But again, do I think that defines this game? No, by no means. I think this game is awesome. I think they got so much right. They got so much right that to use the whip to take away from the experience wouldn't be fair. I mean, the in-air control. Now, like I said, the in-air control and the whips are two different things. The in-air control is actually quite good this time around. It's more free. I think I have more control over it than I have ever before. Just moving the guy on the bike, you know, and moving the bike left to right a little bit. And he moves his leg off. He's doing more of an animation. It's more fluid. It just works better. So I'm really happy with that. I think they did a pretty good job and kind of figured that out. But the whip, it's awful. It's just terrible. It's awful, and I think it's the worst one. And that's all I'm gonna say about it, at least for this video. But I don't think that's a reason not to buy the game. I don't think that's a reason to say it's not a good game. I mean, everything else they're doing is so well done. Whoa, we were in 11th, man. We were making moves. Trying to show you the whip still. 2 to go. It just doesn't, it's so weird. And then when you land, you get the problem, think back to MXGP2. MXGP2, so you whip, and then when you land sometimes you get stuck and can't move, like you can't turn the bike for a little bit. We're running into that issue here, just a little bit. I'm running into that problem slightly, where when I land, if I don't land it just right, you can't really turn the bike. You can't corner the bike, so it's kind of frustrating. So just everything about it isn't good as far as the whip goes. But as far as the game overall, fantastic. I think they did a great job. Is it perfect? No. It's got some bugs. It's got a few things that... Oh, man, I'm back in 13th and I go down. Well, you know what? I'd rather be in 14th than 13th, so I'm going to let this guy pass me. Yeah, it's got some things that I think could use some work, but overall, it's really, really solid, and I think it does have somewhat of a learning curve. I think they did a pretty good job. I really think they accomplished what they were trying to do. They were trying to take a fairly arcade game, and remember now, you have the options to leave it on standard or semi-pro physics. You don't have to run the pro physics, okay? So pro physics is just, you don't have to, you know, you don't have to do the pro physics. But I think they found a way to take a simcade type of game that they had and make it like a full-on sim arcade game, I guess, where it's still an arcade game and it still has the arcade options, but I keep letting off on this. I don't know why. I bet someone's so mad that I never cleared that the whole time we were playing. But you do have the option to make it quite difficult on yourself. More difficult than really any other arcade game that I can think of. It has that nice balance where it's not too difficult, but enough. So we're going to try and put on a charge here before I kind of put my final thoughts in this first impressions video. I really want to try and pick off one more. Come on, don't go down. If you go down, it's over. I can't crash. Focus. I'm gonna try and focus here. See if we can make at least one move. I don't know, man. I'm in try-hard mode, but it's not really working. Oh, come on. What? Wow, they were way ahead of us. We're gonna go for it, even if we crash, because I really want to pass him. Alright, come on. Even if we don't finish, I want to finish ahead of him. Oh man, I should have done that. Almost crashed. All right, we're gonna finish 12th. Check it out, and the whip, and then you can do this. You can do this. You can move the front end back and forth. Yeah, so there you go. That was a really long race. I don't even know how long that video was. It was probably way too long, and it was kind of me rambling on. But that's my opinions, I guess. That's my opinions on what I think about the game, where I think it's at right now with the first impressions. I do not think that not having good free whips makes this a bad motocross game. Okay? I don't buy motocross games because I want to throw whips. If I wanted to do that, there's so many other things I could do. I buy motocross games because, one, I just like having the tracks and having the experience. I like having a good flow. I like trying to hit good lines, rail a corner, whatever it may be. It's just, I don't need to throw these huge whips. I mean, it's fun. It's really fun, and it would be even more fun if the whips weren't sucky, but they are. And it doesn't make the game bad, though. The game is pretty darn good. And there's a lot of other things that I wanted to talk about that I'm sure I didn't get into the video, but done talking, done rambling. Next video will probably be 2 strokes. It'll be like 3, 4, 5 videos that'll be pre-made, and then whatever you want to see, leave in the comments, and I'll try to get to it, and eventually we'll move to PC. But you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately, and until the next video, take it easy.